Hello everyone, welcome to this very special edition of Twitch Tales. Today you will not be playing as Apis Hive. No, you may see over there that you are playing as a new character. Umar Rashid Brahim. The setting is North Al-Yamo, on the Radi Sawab continent. You are about 59 miles from the coast, in a city of Kali Wazir. The year is 3748 AQ, or Annus Quietus. For those who are unfamiliar with this particular character, Umar Rashid was one of the names that Apis recently read about, as one of the other famous Horizon Walkers from history, over on the continent of Radi Sawab. And today we will be exploring some of Umar's life, as what it might mean for Apis to become a much higher level Horizon Walker. So today you will be seeing that you have different stats than usual. You are a level 13 Ranger. You have an AC of 17. You have a maximum hit points of 118. You have 13 hit dice. You're a 45-year-old human male with a hermit background who has become a bit of a vigilante. And although you are a Horizon Walker Ranger, this will help to demonstrate to people new to D&D that even people of the same subclass can be very different characters. Umar, for instance, rather than specialising in ranged weaponry like Apis, instead specialises in two-handed weapons, particularly that of short swords. And you can see in Umar's inventory they have quite the collection of short swords. We also have a significantly larger spell slot list, with all the way up to 4th level spells. So, on this particularly sunny and dry day in the desert city of Kali Wazir, we find ourselves on a desert street with the sandstone beneath our feet hot. The door to the tavern swings open, and the 15 or so dragonborn inside, rowdily playing cards and drinking their fill, feasting and generally enjoying the merriment that comes from being the ruling class in this particular oppressive society. The Dragonborn turn to see who has dared to walk into their clan's bar, and see that not only is it not someone who is part of the Prundrashieth clan, it is by all means a lowly, pink-skin, human, disgusting scumbag. A human of the lowest rank in the town. Pink skin being a racial slur for all humans, regardless of their actual skin tone. And what they see walking into the bar is a muscular human man in his mid-40s, standing proud at 5 feet 11 inches tall, and sporting a large bushy black beard and 2-foot-long black hair tied up beneath a forest green rubia turban. He wears a white cotton thorb and a green scarf over his shoulders and neck, currently wrapped over his face. Over his thorb, he wears a dark grey woolen dress jacket that smells faintly of brimstone if you get close enough. Around his waist, a thick band of pale green cotton, into which are placed 4 ceremonial sheaths for short swords, 2 on each hip. On his feet, he wears plain brown leather sandals, revealing 2 missing toes on his scarred left foot. His face is stern and weathered, his dark skin taut and leathered, except for vitiligo, I always forget how to pronounce that, vitiligo around his right ear. And his right eye has no visible iris. He reaches up and takes the green mask off. And you say to the bar, I do not need any trouble. I simply wish to find Krakaki. Now, Krakaki is the name of the Blue Dragonborn who is in charge of this particular city, or has placed himself in charge of this particular city. And you have discovered from a farmer earlier today that Krakaki has taken it upon himself to overtax the incoming merchants to the city. Being that you are a good 60 miles from the coast and nowhere near any sort of leeward side of a mountain, windward side of a mountain, there's significant lack of water sources out here in this desert city. And so food and water to this city is largely brought in by trade. And although we are currently technically under the rule of Sultana Hitam al-Munakad, she has recently just stepped down as Sultana at aged 80 and appointed her son Runit. And for the last many years, the Sultana has been ruling with kindness, and the country itself has had fewer sandstorms and inequality under her rule, as she has been a beneficial source to the humans of the country. But the Perundrashieth clan, the Blue Dragonborn clan, with fingers in every pie and deeds of criminality throughout the land, are seeing that she has stepped down as an elderly sultana, and seeing this change in rulership, has decided that they're going to start pushing back against certain laws that she put in place, certain taxation-free travel between cities. And so you have decided to seek out Krakaki and perhaps challenge him on his new taxation of the merchants. In particular, on behalf of the farmer that came to you in tears this morning, having lost his wife's wedding ring when he couldn't pay the exorbitant tax. After a life of adventuring, you have found yourself decked out with significant wares. You may notice in the inventory there I have given a handwave gear of bag of useful items. If you need any mundane item, you can reach in and bring it out. I'm happy to say that you have a bag of holding full of anything you might need. You even have a couple of health potions in there that I think I'm just now remembering I didn't put on the inventory. You have 2 greater healing potions. So, you walk into the bar. It's up to you what to do from this point onwards, but in order to give you a little incentive as to what you may or may not do, let me tell you a little about Umar's personality, so that you can more efficiently get yourself into the mindset of how to make those decisions. Actually, let me start with you. Start with your background for you. This might help with the personality. Umar was born in an inn to a couple of goat herders, Kabrim and Falah. At the time of his birth, there was a particular disturbance in the stars of the sky, which many took to being an omen, though they did not link it to Umar at the time. Over the years, the Brahims had another boy, Maharim, and a girl, Jamila. They also got particularly powerful as herders, acquiring other herders and building a very profitable business. Your family was quite wealthy. Umar was raised by his parents in an aristocratic lifestyle, but in a modest house, not wanting to show off their wealth. He had a few close friends and an ordinary childhood, until the family angered the Perundrashieth clan, and they took revenge. The clan ruined his family, and forced Umar to flee the wilds, where he lived as a hermit for a decade, before returning to civilization as the name Rashid, hiding who he was. While he was living alone in the wild, he met the Cold Lady, an archfey who helped him to learn his powers as a horizon walker. He then spent many years working as a sword for hire, before finding his wife, Garda. Garda was a human farmer, and he lived happily with her for a few years, but they were always unable to conceive. One day the Perundrashieth clan arrived, demanding that Garda and Rashid sell the land to them, and pushed to the brink of violence to defend his property and his family. Umar Rashid snapped and slaughtered the clansmen. Garda couldn't forgive him for then putting a target on their backs from then on from the Parandrashiath clan, and it drove a wedge between them. The clan inevitably sent more men to avenge, but Umar slaughtered them as well. Eventually Garda upped and left. That was about 3 years ago. Umar took up the job of striking out at the Parandrashiath clan with very little left to lose. He met a mentor along the way, an old retired tiefling warlock called Grateful, and Grateful helped him occasionally. Umar is vengeful, bitter, and quick to mete out justice for personal slights, but doesn't worry himself with other people's laws or codes, avoiding meddling in their affairs. He's a little blunt and impatient with social etiquette. He enjoys Shahi Halib, which is a type of milk tea. He enjoys hookah, and he has a sweet side, particularly for children. He regrets never having had children, and he feels daily regret over how it ended with his ex-wife Garda. Umar is bisexual with a slight preference for men, but sex isn't a driving force in his life. He enjoys his own company. He is driven by the need to eradicate the Parandrashiath clan, and he can be quite reckless with his own safety, feeling he has little to lose. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of backstory as to who Umar is, and helps you to decide what to do in certain circumstances. So, we zoom back to the present moment as Umar is standing in the doorway, looking around at the Dragonborn, and has asked to speak with Krakaki. The one closest to us turns his back, turns around over his back to look towards us, and we can see that he's playing cards with the one in front. And he shouts in the native dialect of Common, "I would leave if I were you, before your shit gets smushed down into the floorboards of this tavern." These are all members of the Parandrashiath clan, yes. A criminal organisation that rules much of Al Yamo with an iron fist. So, what would you like to do, everybody? It's over to you. "I won't leave without what I have asked for," you say. And at that response is met with of lots of chairs as they start to push back. Another voice calls out from further into the bar. "It may not be only shit that's getting mushed into our floorboards. It seems like you'll have some cleaning up to do," he calls across to the barman. And the barman laughs and says, "Blood is always so hard to get out of wood." And people are starting to stand. "I am not looking for a fight. I just wish to talk to Kara." And before you even finish the name, "Well, a fight's found you!" And you hear people starting to draw swords out, starting to grab bottles and things, and we are in initiative order. Now, you may notice there's somewhat of a difference to our battle map page. Not only do we have different weapons, and you can see the 4 to choose from below me, you also have different statistics and different spell slots. So as you have walked into the bar, we see Umar. The camera spins around them, and we see the bar filled with Dragonborn. Now you may notice, everybody, that I'm no longer using Roll20. I am introducing myself to a wonderful program called Tailspire. Thank you very much to the gift of Tailspire. Unfortunately for me, I'm still getting very used to it, so it's a little bit. You'll have to bear with me with the actual movements and such. And also, they only have a very limited selection of Dragonborn creatures, so I'm using red Dragonborn, but you should keep in mind that these are blue. If you would like to dance, I can show you a few steps. And you start to draw out your swords. Now, I would highly recommend, if you have the ability to do so, I would highly recommend getting into the overlay that you can see on screen, the D&D Beyond Extensions overlay, whereby you can see a link to Umar Rashid Brahim's character sheet, and you can see a little bit more of what he can do. As a Horizon Walker, he has certain abilities. The most important ones to keep in mind are that he has the 2-weapon fighting ability, meaning he can attack. If he attacks with a short sword as his main attack, he can use a bonus attack with his other hand. And as a 2-weapon fighting ranger, he can add his modifier to both rolls. They're just as powerful with their left hand as they are with their right. The second thing to keep in mind is that we have an ability under the features over there. You can see that we have an ability called Distant Strike. That is a wonderful high-level Horizon Walker ability where you can tap into the latent energies of the different planes of existence and magically teleport yourself up to 10 feet before or after any attack. And if you do so on your turn and make 2 attacks against 2 different characters, you can make a 3rd attack against another character. And that's not including the bonus attack from your 2-handed fighting. So if you choose different targets, you can make an attack, a bonus attack. Those can be against the same character if you want them to be. And then another attack against the second character and another attack against the third. And between each of those attacks, you can you can teleport yourself 10 feet. And that's not including the movement as well. I'm very excited for Tailspire. Alright, so have a look at the character sheet, look at the spell slots and the spells that you have available to you. If you want to be in with a chance to win, the chance to decide completely what Umar does for 1 turn of combat, you can put !ConSave in the chat. When I say so, Dread is going to hit the roll button and choose one of those people at random, and they will get the chance to do what they want to do. In the meantime, initiative for Umar Rashid. It's your initiative. Ooh, 4. That is a 4 on the initiative, plus, if I take us across to this one, 4 on initiative is, where's my initiative modifier? It's just my dex. Oh, I have advantage on initiative because right as these people start to say, well, trouble's found you, whether you want it or not, and they start to stand up, one of the 4 short swords on our hip starts to vibrate. This particular short sword we took from a bandit leader about 3 years ago on the road. We were a mercenary for a merchant who was going from town to town, and they were attacked by bandits, and you managed to drive them off, but then you actually followed one of the fleeing bandits back to their hideout and actually took out the entire sort of root cause of the problem. It was quite a difficult task, but you managed to get a sword of warning from them as well. And as it starts to vibrate on your hip, it warns you that danger is near, and gives you advantage on the initiative check. So a 10 instead of a 4, plus 2 from dexterity. Alright, so we have a 12 on our initiative. I'm going to split these guys into 3 amounts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the bartender as one of these geezers. I'm going to have this table at the back here are a little bit higher ups than the others. So they're going to be another initiative, and then all of the different mooks in the bar, they're all going to be a different initiative. So first, the bartender, 19. He's probably going to be going first. Ooh, look at this sexy new initiative where I can just move things around, everybody, and I don't have to click on a whole bunch of stuff. Thank you very much to Spidey NZ for that. And guys 2, that's going to be a 17. And the mooks, 16. Damn, they all rolled really well on initiative. So, unfortunately for you, we get quite a lot of things happening before Umar gets a turn. Alright, so add !ConSave in the chat if you want to be able to take the reins of Umar when it comes around to Umar's turn. Firstly, however, enemy 1, the bartender. The bartender uses his turn to he shouts out to the bar, "The first person to take his head off gets free drinks for the rest of the night." And that's going to give advantage on the next attack against you. It's like an inspiring situation. And then he is going to run over to here using his movement, and he's going to grab a bottle off of the shelf and then throw it towards you. and it shatters. Is it going to hit? 9 plus... that's not going to hit. What's your AC again? 17. No, it doesn't hit you. It shatters against the wall beside you. And there's like an acrid sort of a smell coming from it as the wood sort of sizzles, and you realise that whatever he threw at you was probably something pretty dangerous. Then it is these guys at the back. What are they going to do from where they are? They don't feel threatened. They just want to watch this. So as part of watching, so he just pushes back his chair, and he stands up to watch. This guy will do the same. He'll just walk over here and stand over here to watch. He's just arrogant and enjoying the. He's going to enjoy the fight. This guy's going to do the same thing. He's going to walk over to here, turn around. He's going to grab himself some of this. Some of this food from this table here. He's just going to stand there and watch it. And this guy stands up, gets ready with his weapon, but he's ultimately just going to watch. I'm going to keep a track of it. The fact that it's these 4 at the back. All right. Before we get into enemy 3's round, which is the mooks, all of these guys. Dread, could you please roll the ConSave, and we'll see who's going to be controlling Umar. That way it gives them 1 round of everybody else, all of the bad guys doing things in order to decide on what they're going to be doing. Alright, Felagund has won the giveaway. you won it when there was only 2 people in the giveaway, and you win it again when there was lots of people. Alright, so Felagund, you are going to be the one in charge of what to do. So think about what you're going to do. Meanwhile, these guys are all going to stand and start attacking. He's going to run forwards to the door here, and he's going to take an attack roll against you. Ooh, 16 plus stuff will definitely hit you. He's only hitting with an improvised weapon though. He's just picked up a goblet and he's just going to smash it in your face. Ooh, nice though. They're off to a good start. So he did 6 points of damage to you as he smashes this goblet in your face. This guy is going to... he had advantage on the attack because of the bartender's thing. So just in case it's a crit, let's have a look. It was a crit! Awesome. So that's another 4 points of damage. He did 10 points of damage to you because as you said, if you guys want to dance, I can teach you some moves. And you go to grab your swords, but the Dragonborn that's closer gets there first and shatters this thing in your face. Alright, so he smashed a goblet into your face. This guy will stand up and he will throw something at you as well. He'll just use the ranged attack with an improvised weapon. He'll throw an empty beer bottle that he'd finished. And he'll throw it towards you. Oh, 17. 17 plus his modifier will hit. Improvised attack. Damn, man, these guys are laying it on hard to begin with. That's 15 points of damage from these two. This guy will get up. He'll grab this bottle off of the bar here. Wonder if I can actually grab that bottle. Oh, I can. And he throws it towards you. And continues to run after it as well. So he's first going to make a ranged attack with a bottle. 16 plus stuff. These guys have come out of the door swinging. They are ready for a fight. Thankfully, only 3 damage from him. So that's 18 damage taken. Taking us down to 100. We're on 100 hit points. This guy is going to he's going to do an acrobatics check over this table. There's a chance that he'll fail and fall, but if he succeeds, I'll give him advantage on the roll for doing something cool. So his acrobatics check is a 12. That is what he needed. Well, 10 was what he needed. So he jumps up onto the table, and he gets some air for that. And he launches himself and slams down, but he's bringing down a what would it be? I think he was eating. He was at this table, wasn't he? So he was eating, and he's got a knife, a steak knife or something. So it's essentially going to work as a dagger. So I'm going to give him advantage on the roll for that. 17 or something lower. So 17. These guys are all hitting, even with your armor class of 17 plus something. So that's another 6 points of damage. So that's 24 damage total now. This guy will jump up and rush over here as well. He can he can just about get in there. And he's going to make an attack, physical attack. He's just going to punch. Hey, the first one to miss. All right, so he runs over. He's a little too aggressive, and he kind of gets blocked in that narrow doorway by those two guys. This guy is going to pick up a chair, and he's going to shatter the chair on the ground in order to take dual wielding some clubs. This guy, and that's his whole action to do so. He's going to get to here. Let's say, oh, this guy. There's some stuff on the wall over here. This guy, I'll leave that for this guy. This guy's going to run over to this stuff on the wall. He's going to pick it up and he's going to brandish it, and he's going to stay here with the readied action because he can't get to you yet. Likewise, this guy's going to grab this broomstick. I'm going to say the broomstick's long enough to be essentially a reach weapon. So it's still an improvised weapon, but it's giving him reach. And he is going to stand up on this table. He's going to jump up onto the table with a reach weapon. And then finally, this guy is going to, I'll say, he's going to give himself a bit of Dutch courage. He's going to drink back his drink, and for the sake of that, I'll say it encourages him, and he gives himself 3 temporary hit points. Why not? All right, that, I believe, is all of the Dragonborn in the bar that have done their thing. So, fella, it is up to you. What do you want to do on your turn? Let me zoom back around. This is what you're looking at. You've got 3 melee Dragonborn in front of you. One with a bread knife, one with a smashed goblet, one with just his bare fists. Behind that is a guy with a some kind of like iron stoker poker thing. They're all rushing towards you. They're all going to kick your ass as quickly as they can. How do our different swords work? So, as you go to reach down for your swords, you're deciding on which ones to grab in the moment. You've always got 4 choices to choose from. As your hand hits the hilt of the first one, you are reminded of a time that you were with Grateful, the retired tiefling cleric, and you went down into the caverns nearby. Think of like a desert cavern, like the start of Aladdin, a desert cave system, and you were helping her to eradicate this desert cave of foes down there. And when you killed a whole bunch of creatures in order to get to the end treasure room, as to where you were the reason you were there, the final creature that you destroyed was a sort of mummified wizard of sorts, a mummified mage. And when you slew him, you exonerated from his hoard, along with a whole bunch of gemstones, a particularly sharp sword, a sword that was sharpened by magic, and to the point of giving you a +3 to your attack and damage rolls. It's very light. It's you can whip it around easily enough, and it's sort of almost obsidian sharp that the slightest breeze can feel like it didn't even cut you, but it's cut so deep that it instantly severed the nerves and you didn't even feel it. It's that kind of sharp. So you've got a particularly damaging short sword. The first one there is the +3 short sword. You're more likely to hit with it. You're more likely to cause more damage with it. But then your second hand, as your left hand brushes across a hip on your a handle of a sword on your other hip, you are reminded of a time that you were slaying. You were. Let's say, where would this one have come from? This one was from a guild. You were hired by outside mercenaries, by a guild of sort of resistance to the Perundrashieth clan. It was maybe 5 years ago or so. Actually, it would have been around 7 years ago, round about the time that you came back from being a hermit, but before you had met and married Garda. And their problem was with the leader of the Perundrashieth clan as a whole, not just the leader of this particular city, but the leader of the Perundrashieth as a whole, the ancient blue dragon that lives beneath the sands somewhere in Alyamo, Perundra. And they hired you as part of an assassination team to try and go and slay Perundra. Of course, it did not succeed. Perundra was an ancient blue dragon and much more well protected than that particular assassination group mercenary team had expected. But even so, in preparation for doing the slaying, they had provided you with, as payment for your services and assistance for the job at hand, they had provided you with an enchanted sword of dragon slaying. Any sort of dragon or draconic creature or anyone with the draconic bloodline, in my games Dragonborn count as both humanoid and dragon, will take extra damage from this particular enchanted sword. It manages to find its way between dragon's scale. It is created from the forges of giant folk, and the giant kin and the dragon folk have had eons long feuds between them, even before the dawning of the small folk races. The giants and dragons were fighting, and so the giants discovered abilities of how to create mithril swords that would slay dragons even more so than other creatures. And you are reminded of that fact as your hand brushes across this particular blade. Finally, as your hand brushes across the third blade, knowing that we've already talked about the weapon of warning blade. The third blade you get from your hand brushes across the blade of the flame tongue, and as you do so, you are reminded of a time when you had found yourself in the eternal fires of hell. It was on an expedition to drive back the forces of the fiends from the lower planes. The Cold Lady, your archfey, I don't want to say patron because you're not a warlock, your archfey teacher, mentor. The Cold Lady has awoken abilities in you to teleport to other planes of existence and to seek out and destroy or protect certain areas where the realms are thinnest. And in one such occasion, she sent you to the fires of hell to drive back the forces of demons from the other side, or devils technically from the other side. And once you had secured that side of the portal, it was easier for you to close that portal and make your way back home again. But by doing so, you discovered a fiendish blade that has the fires of eternal hellfire inside of the metal itself. And by tapping into that energies, the forces of the planes of existence, you're able to illuminate that blade with fire and flame to cause extra damage when it hits. So those are the four swords that you keep on your person as your primary weapons. A +3 to do just flat extra damage and hit. A Dragon Slayer, which acts as a +1 sword, as well as doing an extra 3d6 to anything with the dragon blood. A Flaming Dagger that does extra damage of fire. And a Warning Sword that gives you advantage on initiative checks. That one tends to stay in its sheath as a ceremonial a ceremonial sword, because by the time the fighting starts, it's already achieved its primary goal. Are these blue dragons born fire resistant? No, blue dragonborns are lightning resistant. So, fella, as your hands brush across the swords on either hip, which would you like to draw out? You pull out the flame tongue in one hand and the dragon slayer in the other. Now, which is technically your offhand, because that's going to come into use, I guess, because you have to... Well, I suppose it doesn't really matter. You can attack with either one, but you have to attack with both as part of the attacks. You can't do all 4 attacks with one of them, because it's an attack action and a bonus offhand. So as long as you have attacked with both of them at some point during the attack action, that's fine. Pull out the flame tongue in one hand and the dragon slayer in the other. Whoosh! With a bonus action, I activate the fire. Whoosh! You say a word in Infernal, and you unleash a certain portion of the hellfires within the blade. Give your neck a little stretch either side. Say, okay, I see how this will work. And then you action to attack with the Dragon Slayer on 3 different guys, jumping behind them, each using the distance strike. Awesome. Flame in your offhand, Dragon primary. Wonderful. So, Umar first draws out these blades, and then first attack on the guy here with your dragon slaying sword. That is going to be an 8 plus 9 is a 17. 17 hits, and you're going to do a d6 damage. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus another 3d6 because they are a dragon. So 7 points plus, because it's a dragon, he takes another 10. So 17 points of damage to that guy in front of you. I see how this is going to work. You barely move. You barely seem to move at all. And the guy with the kitchen knife, who's managed to stab you, or like pushed you back at least. You dodged back away from his kitchen knife, and as he sort of brings back that kitchen knife, you slash it up, and plus 4, not plus 3, so it was 18 damage. You slash through the front of him, and he drops to the ground. As soon as you've slashed him with it, the same momentum kind of carries you into the ethereal plane and forwards. As his body is falling down towards the ground, you step forwards 10 feet as time seems to slow on the material plane. You take your 10-foot distance strike dash to land behind this guy. And then as you reappear on the ethereal plane, you thrust forwards with the Dragon Slayer once again. A 10 plus 9 is going to definitely hit, and then with 4d6 plus 4, that's 10, that's 13, plus 4 is 17 again. 17 strikes this guy, and you kill him outright. Again, as you thrust forwards with the momentum of the sword driving right through his spine and out the front of his sternum, everything goes grey and slows as you enter the ethereal plane. You step to the side and land behind this guy. As you arrive back again, driving up with the dragon slaying sword. Technically speaking, this guy took the ready action, so as you arrive back in the material plane and take a strike, this guy's also going to interrupt with his own strike against you. But with... oh, that'll just hit. 17 to just hit. He had an improvised poker from the wall there, the metal bar. He reaches it out and strikes you for 5 points of damage, so you've taken 29 now. Well, that was rude of them. How dare they? Your third attack comes into this guy in front of you with your dragon slaying sword. 9 plus your modifier of 9 is an 18. 18 will hit. And that is 15. 15 points of damage. 15 will not quite kill him, but it is more than half of his health in one shot. So, in my own rules of massive damage, how I like to play my games is... if you ever take more than half of your hit point max in one single source of damage, then you are forced to make a Constitution saving throw, or your body might go into shock and other things might happen. 2. So he failed his con save. So another thing happens, an alternate effect. On top of him taking a bunch of a 10 is a 10. I can't remember if 10 is good or really bad. Lingering massive damage. Target must succeed on a DC 15 con save, or the target will not be able to take reactions until the end of their next turn. So 0 is a 10 or a 0 is the best thing that he could have rolled, because if he'd have rolled a 1, he would have dropped to 0 HP. So you would have killed him anyway. So this guy takes significant damage to him. As you stab him through the back, you manage to you unfortunately do not manage to sever his spine or any major organs, and so he's still standing and still able to fight. As you withdraw and it's probably because as you went to strike through his spine with the Dragon Slayer, the guy behind you took his readied attack and clapped you over the shoulder with an iron poker. So this guy is unable to take reactions until the end of his next turn, but after you've made your attack, you can distance strike. Everything goes grey, and you can pop behind this guy with the guy that just took the readied action on you, and strike him with your bonus action. So that was 3 attacks with your main hand, and then you make your offhand bonus action strike because of your 2-weapon fighting ability. Fourth attack comes in with a flame tongue sword. 6 is not great. 6 plus your flame tongue of 8 is 14. 14 is not quite enough to hit these guys. Oh, actually, it is. They're not wearing. Wait. No, it is. So that's 1d6 plus 3 plus another 2d6 of fire. So that's 13 plus 3. That's 16 points of fire damage, and that guy is dead. So as you strike through with him, it cuts into his back. He screams and sears in pain as he drops to the ground. After you make that attack, it's unclear in the description of distant strike if every attack of your turn you can jump about because of, or whether it's just the attack actions, but I don't care. I'm going to say it's as soon as you, while you've got distant strike, you can do it after every attack. So you can move another 10 feet if you want. How do I measure in this? I think it's this one, isn't it? So you can jump over to here if you want. You can jump over to here if you want. Whereabouts are we? Where are we jumping over here? We've still got movement as well, so we can actually jump over to here and then run with our movement or something. We could go over here. Whereabouts do you want to go? Go back next to the weak guy. Cool. So you set that guy on fire, and as his corpse falls to the ground burning and he's screaming in pain, you stand over back next to this weakened guy with your back to him, just staring out at the bar, like not even worried that this guy behind you is even a threat because he's so heavily wounded. Alright, so you land behind this guy. He's not actually knocked down. He was standing, unfortunately, for you guys. You then you turn to the rest and say, shall we go again or will you go now? Right. Yeah, so you and the camera swings around you to see all these guys. As you've taken a beating, you kind of like walked in, took a beating from the bar, and then a whole bunch of them are still rowdy and drunk and ready to attack. And you say, "Shall we go now, or will you tell? Shall we continue, or will you show me where Krakaki is?" Back to the top of the round, the bartender will shout, "Strike that! First person to get his head gets free drinks for the rest of the week." And he will inspire the next 2 people to make attacks on you, to have advantage as a bonus action. And then he's going to pick off a... Oh, I forgot their breath weapon attack. All of them could have been breath weaponing you. Then he's going to pick up the another one of these potions from his shelf here. And he's going to turn around and actually he's going to make some distance because he can see how far you can run and jump. So he's going to get to there, and then he's going to lob it from there. That is definitely going to hit. It strikes you, and it becomes like a thick sort of blackish tar stretches across your body, particularly on the sort of lower half. And it has the effect of slowing you down by 15 feet movement speed on your turn. But it doesn't seem that might matter all that much. Trying to intimidate them into stopping, yes. It seems like it might have worked, but you killed three of the mooks that these guys at the back are not necessarily... Like, you've definitely caught the attention of these guys now. They're like, fuck. We might have to get involved. But all of these weaker ones are kind of too drunk to give up right now. Taking a lot of hits for AC 17. Yeah, I know, right? There was I've rolled a 15, 16, 2 17s, an 18 and a 20 against you so far. And maybe some more, I can't remember. But it'll come back round. Such is regression to the mean. Alright, what was I doing? So that was the bartender's turn. He's done. The enemies at the back now. These guys will, seeing that you're a threat... one of them shouts, this guy over here shouts, Umar! Been a long time since we saw you, friend. And he will draw out a longsword. And all the other ones at his table will all draw their longswords as well. It seems like those were the only 4 in the bar that actually had their weapons on them. he is going to climb up onto high ground Anakin, and he's going to take the ready action. This guy is going to run forwards to here, and he's going to use the command feature to command this guy to make an attack. He goes, Rikana, hit him! And Rikana will step forward and whoosh, he'll take an attack with his reaction. And he will miss with a 7 on the dice. He'll strike out to you. I don't think there's anything you can do on a when somebody whiffs against you or anything, is there? That was his turn to get somebody to attack out of turn, as it were. These guys don't really want to get into it yet. They've seen how much you fight and everything. This guy's going to come over here and just kind of watch from this back corner. What could this guy do on his turn? He's going to do like the other guy did over there. He's going to pick up his drink and drain it. And he's going to give himself some temporary hit points. Alright, that's the main guys. These 4. Now it is over to these guys. Alright, we're about to draw the Felagund. Alright, we're going to have to re-roll it, I'm afraid. We can't have the same... Is something happening? Why is Felagund winning every time? We're going to re-roll that, because we're not having Felagund winning 2 rounds in a row. Aquafire, there we go. Aquafire, you're going to be next. Can you take time to think about what you're going to do on your turn? Is your chance to fight a bar full of criminals, right? Yep, I'm not going to lie, I genuinely thought about you when I was creating the chance to attack a whole bunch of people. Alright, this guy, you managed to avoid all but his most superficial parts of his body, so he's actually still able to fight. He is going to turn around and take an attack at you. What did he... In fact, he's going to lightning breath you, because I forgot that up until now. So you hear behind this crackling of... And then as he opens his mouth behind you, you can kind of hear it coming. I'm going to roll a dexterity saving throw for you. 3. You got a 3 on the dex save. Do you wish to use your inspiration or a lucky horseshoe to re-roll that? And yes, I've given you a lucky horseshoe as well. Inspiration? Yeah, alright. We'll re-roll it with your inspiration then, Aquafire. So your inspiration... Your inspiration is gone with a twinkle and a tinkle. And you're re-rolling your dex save with a 6. You doubled it. You did double the... I mean, it's totally worth it if you've doubled your dexterity saving throw, right? Plus the dexterity of 4, plus, because it's white, you are proficient in it, so that's, of 2, plus your proficiency of, by this level, you are a proficiency of 4, dexterity of 2, you're adding 6 to it. So 6, it becomes a 12. So 12 still fails, but it was actually pretty close. You're adding a 6 to your dexterity saves, not too bad. So this guy, this crackling, suddenly starts and hits you almost point blank from behind, and it makes sense story-wise that you thought you'd killed him. You kind of just turned your back to him thinking he was dead, but as he's going down to the ground on one knee, he fires his lightning breath at you. I'm going to point out to you, because you're new to playing this character, that the first spell on your spell list is a level 1 spell called Absorb Elements. If you wish to use it as a reaction, you can do so. But I'm not telling you should, I'm just highlighting that it is an option that you can do so. For anyone who doesn't know what it does, let me read it to you. Oh my god, yes please, I was going to cast it! Alright, we're going to cast it then, because it's Aqua's turn anyway. For anyone who doesn't know what it does though, I am going to read it out just for, especially since we're now going to use it anyway. It is a reaction. It takes a reaction to cast, and you take that reaction when you take, whenever you take acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage. It lasts for 1 round. It only requires a somatic component, a flick of the hand of sorts. The spell captures some of the incoming energy, lessening its effect on you and storing it for your next melee attack. You have resistance to the triggering damage type until the start of your next turn. So for the entire turn you'll have resistance against lightning damage. And also on the first time you hit with a melee attack on your next turn, the target will take an extra d6 damage from the triggering type, and the spell ends. It's almost like Robert did this on purpose, so that you'd feel like a badass in a bar full of people who are lightning types, and are likely going to be doing lightning damage to you. Alright, so this guy, you failed your save against it, so you're going to take full damage, but you're going to then cast whatchamacallit. Ooh, that's 11 plus 5, 16 points of lightning damage. Technically speaking, if I was being a real pedant here, you don't have a hand free to do a somatic component spell. You can't make spells when you're dual wielding swords unless you have the Warcaster feature. But for the sake of this, one shot, I will ignore that rule temporarily. So this guy starts to crackle, and you turn around. You turn to look over your shoulder at the last second, and just as he unleashes his lightning breath towards you, you bring up the Dragon Slayer sword, and the lightning is diverted somewhat into the blade of the sword, and it still hits you in the arm for 8 points of damage. And you do suffer that 8 points of damage, but your body starts to crackle with resistance to lightning now. You also feel, as I have not fully described, that underneath your thorb, you feel the lightning you are resistant to it partially because the lightning is transmitted into the molten brass half plate that you wear. Your armor is badass. It's half plate, but it's a magical item that is basically a jug of molten brass or molten bronze until you attune to it, and when you attune to it, it like absorbs onto your body and your skin and moves with you and doesn't impose disadvantage on stealth and things. And that metal sort of helps to lessen the damage of the lightning to you. So Umar, health, you are down to 81 health. And then you see your sword begins to crackle with the energy, the residue of the energy. This guy he's used his reaction to make an attack out of turn, but now he can use his action to do the same again. What did he have on you again? He had, I can't remember what. Oh, he picked up a jug. That's right. He picked up this jug, threw it at you, and then just kept running. So he's got no weapons in hand. He sees this guy let loose a bolt of lightning out of his face, and he thinks, yeah, I'll do that as well. And he lets loose a bolt of lightning towards you. This one, because you couldn't see this guy behind you, didn't really see how it's done. You definitely have seen it before though, because you've been fighting Perundrashiath Dragonborn for a long time. The blue Dragonborn beside you, with his rhino-like horn on his nose, opens the back of his head right to the back, and you can see all of his draconic teeth, sharpened carnassials down the sides that are all sparking lightning between them as it works its way to the front. And just as it hits the sparks are going between the two canines, top and bottom, he snaps it shut and it fires all of that lightning right out towards you. And you're going to make another dexterity saving throw. We've got a +6. 9 plus 6 is a 15. 15 is what you needed. So you managed to half this damage already because you see him. You've slammed this one. You hear it coming from your left, and you bring your blade around to the other side, sort of almost dropping prone backwards as the lightning fires over the top. It does catch both of your blades and send half of it down into your body, but then the half that actually arrives at you is also resisted because of the absorb elements. And that's not a good roll anyway. So 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 halved because you dodged it was 5. Halved again and rounded up because I round up to 3. You take 3 points of lightning damage from this guy, taking you to 78. And your sword continues to crackle with energy. After casting Absorb Elements, one of your first level spell slots is gone. That was those two. Let's move on to who else is going to attack. This guy has the reach weapon, an improvised reach weapon. He is going to jump down here, and he's going to from there make an attack at you with the end of the broomstick. That is going to hit, and he's going to do a d4 plus 2, 3 points of damage. Then we've got... This guy had the temporary hit points from before because he drunk back the rest of his whiskey, gave him the sudden boost of energy and Dutch courage. So he's going to rush forwards to here, and even though his friends are immune to it, he's still going to manipulate himself so that he can fire forwards in a lightning line through you and not hit his friends. As he runs forward, you see it starting in the neck this time because he's coming right from your vision, so you can see it before he even begins. The scales, the blue scales on his neck, sort of crackle with static electricity before it even reaches his mouth, and then fires again out of his mouth towards you. You're going to need to make a dexterity saving throw. That's an 18, definitely a success. That is 14 points of damage, halved because you dodged it, to 7, halved again, rounded up to 4 because of your absorb elements. So you get 4 points of damage, lightning damage, as your sword continues to crackle with energy. That's these 4. These 2 don't want to attack directly because they've seen what you can do with people. So this guy's going to pick up a oh no, this guy was the one who's dual wielding clubs, isn't he? So yeah, he's still feeling pretty brave. He's going to rush forwards to you, and he's going to dual wield those clubs and try and whack hit you with 2 clubs. His first attack is a hit. It's amazing how well they're rolling on their attacks. It's a good thing for you that these guys are all using improvised weapons. And the offhand is a miss. So it's just going to be 5 points of damage. 66 points of damage. This guy's going to pick up an item on the bar. He's going to pick up like a bottle, or he's going to pick up a plate, and he's going to try and frisbee it at you. Unfortunately for him, let's have a look. Can he hit you fairly well? Yeah, he can try and frisbee through this gap here. I'll give you a +1 to your armor class because this guy's he's kind of not wanting to hit his friend here. He doesn't really give a shit. Nah, he doesn't give a shit. If he hits his friend, he hits his friend. He's going to miss entirely anyway. That's a 5. The plate goes and smashes against this back wall, and then he is going to back up a little bit. He's gonna rush to here and turn to face you like that. That is all of the mooks in the bar. Aqua is... Yes, it is Aqua's turn, right? Yes. Aqua, this is now your turn. What are we doing? We have bonus action Healing Spirit too. That'll last at least 2 heals. Yep, that's a good one. Did you notice that I gave you Healing Spirit so that you guys can test it out? All the people who wanted it for Apis and were overruled. I'm going to attack the meanie who's almost dead and shot us in the back. Alright, so without even turning around, you feel that crackle from the back, you dodge against that one, you dodge against that one, you get hit with the end of a broomstick, and then a plate goes whizzing over your head, and then you turn you sort of do a little flourish, you flick the dragon slaying sword from around in your fist, and just drive it back behind you, and you, let's see if you feel it connect. 7 plus your dragon slayer of 9 is 16. That's actually still enough. 16. You feel it connect, and he literally had 1 hit point left, so he goes down. You can now jump if you want. This guy is down. I'm gonna knock him over. as these bodies are surrounding you. So you've slaughtered that one behind you. Who next? Aquafire, and where are we jumping around to? You need to tell me where we're going. So after you've taken the attack action, you can distant strike, jump to somebody else. The character says planar gives us 2d8, does it? Oh, I didn't think to update that because I didn't realise that planar updates with level. That was my mistake. Tailspire makes it look even more badass. I know, right? Can you imagine what it'll look like when I've got an STL file for Apis Hive? And all of Apis's friends and things in a giant mill? It's going to be dope. Can I distant strike to the guy that's a little off to the side who's also breath weapon does? You can indeed. So you strike back, and then you seem to them, it looks like you almost like pull back along the blade into that guy, when in actuality you've just disappeared into the ethereal plane and run around this guy, or run through that guy probably, to right behind him. So that was your attack and your first distance strike. You can take another attack, presumably against this guy. 6 plus 9 is 15. 15 is enough to hit. So this is 4d6 plus 4 from the dragon slaying sword. 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 4 is 16. 16 is enough to kill. So the good guy ran and breath weaponed us. We arrive back on the material plane like a few inches off of the ground and use that downward momentum to drive down that sword right through his neck muscles and into about 3 inches into his ribs, stopped only by his clavicle at the front, and then pull back the blade as he drops to the ground. And just as these guys kind of turn to see where you are and where you're coming from, you can distance strike again. Where are we going next, Aquafire? That's 2 attacks against 2 different people, which means we trigger the ability to do a 3rd attack against a 3rd creature, if you should so want. Could be tricky since Apis is... Yeah, true. We don't have a direct Apis mini, so that's going to be an interesting challenge. I could try and get an STL file that's just got a perfectly smooth face that doesn't have any facial features, but has all of the clothing that we all agree that Apis wears. Yes, gonna go for the guy that's closest. Alright, so you disappear into the ethereal plane. How far can you go? 10 feet, so you can go 1 and then 2. You can get to here. And you can, right behind this guy, another strike with the Dragon Slayer. Two unfortunately will miss. So as you pop back into the present day, and I should mention as well that the guy behind you that you slotted with the Dragon Slayer, on top of all of the Dragon Slayer damage, you also took that 1d6 of lightning damage that your sword was crackling with. So as you slam down behind this guy back into the ethereal plane, you were a little bit you didn't quite realize that as you pop back into the material plane, you were like halfway sort of encountering this chair, which means when you popped back into the ethereal plane, you were kind of you were thrown off just a little bit with your body positioning, and it threw off your attack. It struck against the back of his leather armor and pushed it off to the side. So you have taken 3 attacks with your attack action, Aquafire. You have a bonus action to use however you should see fit. With your 2-weapon fighting, it means you can take your bonus action strike with a flaming sword, or you could plane a warrior as well as a bonus, don't forget. It would be pointless to do that now that you've used your action. But you can also use your bonus action to any of your spells, Healing Spirit or Misty Step. So what do you want to do with your bonus action, Aquafire? You've also got your movement if you want to take it. Bonus attack to the dude we missed, yeah. So you sort of stumbled a little bit and didn't quite hit through his armor with your Dragon Slayer, so instead the flaming sword that to them has just been flickering in and out of existence. It's like the scene from X-Men with what's he called, Nightwalker, trying to kill the president. It's like that, but also with fire involved. just bursts of heat around the wooden tavern. And as you arrive behind this guy and hit him in the back, he kind of stumbles, and then as he goes to turn, you strike him with your flaming sword and try and do the damage. 18 will definitely hit, and that's going to be 3d6. 4, 3. That is that's 11 plus 3 is 14 points of damage. 14 points of damage is not enough to kill him, unfortunately, but it is more than half of his hit points in a single turn. So he's going to make a saving throw. 10 plus his con mod. Let me double check the con mods of these guys. Not enough. So he will also fail his massive damage check. And he gets a 9. He cannot take reactions, and he has disadvantage on any ability checks until the end of his next turn. So ability checks and no reactions. So because this guy is struck for enough damage to almost kill him with your flaming dagger, your flaming sword rather, he cannot take reactions. So if you want to use your movement to move away, you can do so without risking attack of opportunity, Aquafire. You can also just bamf away with your 10-foot distance strike before moving somewhere else. What would you like to do with the last of your turn, Aquafire? You've used your action and your bonus, but you've got movement and technically one 10-foot jump. jump off to one of the other clear spaces. All right. Maybe over here then. So you jump off over here, and you turn again, like dramatically facing the 4 guys that are in charge, the stronger guys, and you say something cool. You say, "Shall we continue to dance?" Round 3. That was your turn, Umar. A very good turn indeed. Now it is the bartender's turn. I completely forgot that the first two people to attack you should have had advantage. That was the lightning, which wouldn't have helped. The guy hit you. The guy hit you with his broom. I'm just going to retroactively see if it would have been a crit. It would not have been. And then who else hit you? This guy with the club. Wouldn't have changed anything. So the bartender now says, "Strike that! If anybody can kill him, they get to drink here for free for life!" And he's increasing his inspiration every time. And now all of the attacks on you for the next round. Oh, sorry, it was we're in round 3, aren't we? First one was first guy gets an attack. Second one is second guy gets an attack. Now it's the next 4 people to attack you get an attack to do so with advantage. Or the next 4 attacks on you get advantage. Then he is going to walk over here. The tar that he threw at you before is kind of worn off now. It's dripped off onto the floor, and your movement speed is back up to full. He's going to grab another bottle, and he's going to walk back over here and throw it at you. That is going to hit with a 14 plus stuff. Let's see. Yes, it's going to be the one that reacts with the tar. So he's going to lob that at you, and it's going to do. He's going to do 4 points of fire damage as it hits you and burst into flame, and you are on fire. On fire means you will take a D10 fire damage at the start of each of your turns until you use an action to put it out. Or some other effect puts it out for you. Oh yes, thank you for the reminder, Sparrow Resist. Because of the molten bronze armor that you wear as under your Thorb, you have fire resistance. This is why it's important to read your character sheet, because I sometimes forget things. So you are set on fire. You are currently flaming. All right, that is the barman's turn. It is then the guy in charge's turn, and they are realizing how much of a threat you are. And the one on the bar who said, "Been a long time since we seen you, old friend." He's going to run up along the bar to here. Are you close enough to hit? Me top-down view. How much is the distance there? 10 feet? No, it's not enough. He's going to knock this to the side as he runs. He's going to try and get to the edge of the bar there. See if he's within range of your. I think with longsword he's going to have the reach. From the front of you to the front of there. That's just about reach with his longsword. I'm going to say it's enough. He strikes down towards you with his longsword. He has the high ground, Anakin, and that's going to be a 19 plus stuff to hit, so that's definitely enough. And he strikes you for quite a lot, 9 points of damage. 9 points takes you to 55. So, guy got you to. He ran along the bar and struck at you with his sword, and you managed to parry it to the side, but it took a lot of your stamina in order to do so. This guy is going to run forwards, and in fact he doesn't have to get that close, does he? What's the distance? Yeah, you're well within range. He's going to lightning breath you from there. And this guy's a lot bigger and a lot sort of meatier, and you see that this lightning is crackling over a thicker neck. He's got a big muscly shoulders, big muscly neck. He's about to hit you with a much stronger lightning bolt, it seems, than the other guys. So dexterity saving throw for you. 11 plus 6 is enough to succeed against this guy's DC. That's 10 and oh, thankfully, pretty crappy roll. That's 12 points of lightning. You succeeded on your save, so you're going to take 6 points of damage. Are you going to use absorb? Yes or no? Have we chosen somebody for this round yet? I don't know if we have yet. Does absorb elements not work on the fire? It could have pack if we'd have chosen to do so. Absorb it. Yes, yes, yes. People saying absorb it. All right, so we're going to use another spell slot. As the incoming 6 points of lightning damage again gets absorbed, we flick the swords in a way that completes the somatic component of the absorb spell. Sort of cross them over, and half of the energy gets absorbed. We are taken down to 52 points of lightning, 52 points of health. And again, we are crackling from beneath our robes for the rest of this round. Until the start of your next turn, I think it said, we will have resistance to lightning. That one lightning, this one sword. Now we've got these two. That guy gave himself some temporary hit points. He is going to. Oh, they've got they've each got the command ability. This guy will shout, "Don't just stand there, coward! Bikra, hit him!" And Bikra will walk forwards, and reluctantly he will get within melee range of you, and he will try and just punch you in the face because he's got no thing. He's already thrown a plate at you, he's already thrown a goblet at you, he's got nothing else to throw. Natural 1. So he's just going to hit out at you, and it does nothing at all. There's no allies for him to accidentally hit though. So that's his thing, that's his action to command that. Where do you want to run to, mate? He's going over here for reasons. He sort of runs back into this corner a little bit. This guy is going to... What's his movement? He's going to get down here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's going to get to there. Into this corner here. And he is going to... Ready, I think. Alright, so that's this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, who are the main dudes now. Now it's down to the mooks. Alright, let's, who's going? Ooh, Mythical. Mythical, you're going to be next. Think about what you're going to be doing while I control the mooks. This mook... the guy who just tried to punch you is going to try again. 3. This guy's scared. This guy's clearly scared. As he walks across, you can tell that he's younger. He's thinner. He's not quite as intimidating to look at as the others. He's a little shorter. You get that he's probably a little younger than the others. He's still a member of the Perundrashieth clan, and as a whole, they when they get to a certain age, they are inducted into the clan with certain nasty deeds, shall we say, and leave it at that. And so you know that he's not necessarily a nice person, but it could just be the life that he's from, and he's not really ready to attack. He's tried to hit you, and then he tries to hit you again, and he fails. This guy hasn't used his breath weapon yet. This guy did. They don't get it back until a short rest. So this guy hasn't used his breath weapon. He doesn't want to get too close. Oh, he's the one with the 2 clubs, isn't he? And he has advantage because he wants free drinks from the barman. So he's going to run over and... Oh, that guy with the punch should have had an advantage on the attack as well because of the barman. So advantage on the attack takes him. It still wouldn't have been enough. So nothing changes yet. The guy with the 2 clubs, though, he's dual wielding, and he's going to, with advantage on the first one... Yep, no, still... He actually got the exact same as the other guy. An advantage on his offhand attack with his club. Oh, God. There we go. He hits you with the offhand, but because it's an offhand, it's an improvised weapon, and he doesn't add his damage, so it's just 1 point of damage. He just clunks you a little bit on the back of the head with a piece of wood from a chair. One more person gets oh no, this guy with his longsword should have had the first advantage, shouldn't he? I'm forgetting my own abilities here. It wouldn't have changed anything because he hit and it wouldn't have been a crit. So the bartender's getting upset that his inspiration isn't actually doing anything for anyone. These two are the only two left, aren't they? The only two mooks. Let me double check the bar. Yep. This guy has used his breath weapon already, so there's not much else he can do. He's the one with temporary hit points. He's going to jump up onto the table. He's going to run right over to you. And he's going to try and kick you in the face, because he's now at higher level. Nope, that's not going to hit. He goes out to kick you and misses entirely. This one is the one with the broomstick from the corner with a reach weapon. So he can still hit you, and he hasn't used his, let me see, difficult terrain jumping over his friends. 5, 10, 15, 20. He hasn't used his lightning breath yet, has he? Are Dragonborn resistant to lightning, or I think they're only resistant to lightning, aren't they? So he doesn't want to hit his friends, does he? He doesn't want to hit his buddies, and you're not going to be easy to hit with the lightning breath here. Is there anywhere he can get you with lightning? If he was there, could he get you? If he lightninged across your back, there's a chance this guy would get hit. Let me roll an intelligence check in a moment. Yeah, he's pretty smart. He's not going to hit his friends. He's not going to try and hit his friends. He's going to lightning breath you here. Then this line here. So dexterity save for you. 15 plus 6. You are making these dex saves. Umar is a dexterous boy, it seems. What am I rolling for? His breath weapon, which is just 3d6. 6 and 5 is 11, plus 2 is 13. 13 halved because you made the save is rounded up to 7. And then because you are resistant, it's halved again, rounded up to 4. You take 4 points of lightning damage from this guy. He's still got the broom, so you're in his melee range. And I think we're starting to run out of people who've got breath weapon attacks. Alright, that is all of the mooks. So, over to you, Mythical, was it? Let me double check that. Who was it? Scrappy? Mythical, yes. Over to you, Myth. You are controlling Umar. What are we going to do? Grab the guy on the bar, drag him down and stab him, jump over the bar and go stab that barman, double attack if needed, healing spirit on us as the bonus. Alright, so we are going to... Before you make an attack, you can jump 10 feet. So you ethereal step to here, and then you're going to make make a grapple on this guy. So grappling him to pull him off of the bar is going to be one of your attacks. So your grapple attempt is an 18 plus your athletics modifier, which, whoo boy, you can see athletics is one of the skills you're proficient in, so you get a +4. Strength is a 16, so you get a +3. You've got a +7 to athletics, and you got an 18. You got a 25 athletics versus this Dragonborn fella's athletics or acrobatics, my choice. Oh, it's pretty good, but not good enough. You successfully pull him down off of the bar. I'm gonna roll for him a dexterity saving throw to see if he falls prone. DC 12, 6. No, he falls prone. This is going to be a little bit confusing because he's not actually dead, but you've managed to pull him down off the bar and he stumbles and falls. And then you drive down with your second attack. With your second attack, you can drive down on him. Here's a question for you, Myth. You have made an attack action against this guy. If you attack him with your second action with your attack, then you can't make a third because you've attacked the same guy twice. If you're going to make 3 attacks as your attack action, they all need to be against 3 different characters. So do you want to attack this guy and then bounce over to the other bar and get your bonus attack on that guy, or do you want to, like, you can leave this guy prone, attack this guy, and then jump over the bar and attack this guy, and then bonus action, but you won't get any damage on this guy from having pulled him prone. PSA, high ground is not an advantage in real life sword fight. Yeah, I know, I've watched enough YouTube videos to see why people have debunked that and said it's ridiculous that that's a thing, because the person on the ground can attack you pretty much anywhere that you can't defend, whereas the person on the top can only attack you from the top half. Leave him prone, attack the other guys, go for the barman. Alright, so with your first attack you attack this one, which allows you which allows you to jump 10 feet. You did the jump before that, so you can jump before this next attack. Let's try and take out this mook. Do you want to take out the scared mook guy? Or one of these two? Or this guy? You want to start attacking one of the dangerous guys? You want to take out one of the mooks? Or do you want to jump over and attack the bartender real quick? You'll attack the bartender either way. It's just whether you want to go first or not. You want to take out this younger scared guy? Dangerous guy? Alright, so you 10-foot bamf through the ethereal plane up to this one. As you get right up close to this one, you notice like he's missing his left eye and he's got a scar down one side of the face. You've come into contact with this guy before. You've not fought him, but he's a dangerous guy that you've definitely heard of around the place as part of the clans. You can tell that he's one of the guys that probably owns the mines that are run by various slaves. He's probably a mine owner and therefore a little wealthier than the others. So you bounce through the ethereal plane to get to him. You make an attack. 11 plus your modifier is definitely going to be enough to hit him with a dragon slaying sword. That is 11, 12, 13, 14 points of damage, plus 4 is 18 points of damage. This guy is taken to half his health with that, or below half his health, as per what may be. So he's going to make a save. He makes his con save though, so no further effect. He is considered wounded though. You strike out at him and he only just manages to block it with his sword, cutting across a little bit of his forearm and making him bleed. He snarls towards you. After that, so you did bamf attack, jumping 10 feet across to the other side of the bar here. You managed to make a third final attack on this guy. That was cocked. I'm going to go again. 13 was the same number-ish. 13 plus your attack modifier is definitely enough to hit the barman, who is wearing no armor. With your dragon slaying sword, that's going to be 10, 16, 16 plus 4, 20 points of damage, and the barman is dead. And that means that enemy 1 has left the initiative. Congrats on that attack. Boom, 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 boom. And then you've got movement left if you want to take it. Oh, on the start of your turn you took fire damage as well because you were on fire and you haven't taken an action to put it out. That's 8 points of fire damage. You are down to 40 and you are looking wounded. So you've taken 8 points of fire damage as you're still flaming. You drag that guy off the bar, you attack that other one, you jump behind the bar and kill the barman. And then you've got... yeah, and you shout, "No free drinks for killing me, boys!" And then what was... Oh, you want a healing word as your bonus... healing spirit as your bonus action, right? Healing spirit. Oh yes, fire resistance. Thank you for the reminder again, Sparrow. Keep reminding me. I appreciate that. So we only took 4 points of fire damage from the fire. Going ethereal didn't put it out. No, unfortunately not. Otherwise, if we get into the physics of like, well then why would... because then you wouldn't take your clothes with you when you go ethereal either. So like everything that you are currently wearing, carrying, or is on your person or in your person, or if your clothes are on fire, it is a condition of your clothes, and your clothes are taken with you when you bamf. Jerry remembered that time. Thank you, Jerry, for the reminder. What was I looking up? Healing spirit. 60-foot range, bonus action, concentration up to a minute. You call forth a nature spirit to soothe the wounded. The intangible spirit appears in a space that is a 5-foot cube you can see within range. It does not say it has to be an unoccupied space, so you can conjure it in your own space. The spirit looks like a transparent beast or fey. Your choice. I'm going to take control of that and say that it is going to look like a very particular type of fey. Until the spell ends, whenever you or a creature you can see moves into the spirit's space for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, you can cause the spirit to restore 1d6 hit points. You can heal a number of times equal to 1 plus your spellcasting ability modifier, which for you is your wisdom, and if we take you back to this page you can see your wisdom modifier is 4, so it can heal 5 times before it disappears. Bonus action on your turn, you can move the spirit up to 30 feet to a space you can see. So, mythical. The choice is anywhere within 60 feet of you, which is anywhere in this bar, it seems, except for that very far corner. Anywhere within 60 feet, you can choose to place this healing spirit, including your own space, if you want to. But you still have movement this turn. And if you place it here where you are behind the bar and then you move out of it, you're going to need to use a bonus action on subsequent turns in order to move it into your space again. And you're going to cast it at 3rd level. Okay. At 3rd level is... whenever you cast this spell using a spell slot of 3rd or higher, the healing increases by 1d6 for each level above 2nd. So if you cast it at 3rd level, you are going to get 2d6 healing every time it heals. If you cast it at 4th level, you get 3d6 healing for 5 rounds. Plonk it in the middle of the bar, then it covers the entire area. Keep in mind though, Sparrow, that it only takes up a 5-foot cube, and you have to be in that 5-foot cube in order to heal. So mythical. Where are we putting it? I don't want to be stuck close to that big guy. Go in the middle of the bar with the spirit. Okay, cool. Let me look for something that I can. Elementals. It does look like a Fey. There we go. Fey creature. Oh, there we go. This'll be nice. Yes, perfect. All right. Middle of the bar, you said, like here. Let me just double check how far that is from you. So 20-ish feet from you. So you cast this mythical this Fey-like creature. As you feel yourself a little wounded now, you've been ducking and diving and dodging all over this bar, striking out so many different blue dragonborn, but the tides could still turn against you if you're not careful. There are still dangerous men afoot in the bar. And knowing that you're getting to the limit of your stamina, you don't want to potentially run out and find yourself in particular danger. You call out to the cold lady who is always listening, and you say, "Cold lady, send me your aid." And as she has done numerous times before, you feel a breeze of a particularly brisk cold air coming in from the doorway, as sand and the dead brush of desiccated plants come rustling in from the outside. And as it whirls itself in, there's almost like a little dust devil appears in the center of the bar. And when the dust drops to the ground, the sand dissipates. Left standing there is a particularly small bipedal furry creature, almost like a satyr, but with more of a furbolg-like upper half. And at the top of their head, 2 little nubbins of green horns. And they look towards you, their body ethereal and green, and you can see that the cold lady has sent you one of her minions, a minion that you're quite familiar with personally. You have seen this minion before, or a form of this minion, and you can tell that they are radiating a healing energy. So that was your action. Bam, 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 bam. You did a bunch of attacks. That was your bonus action to do that, and then you've got a movement left. Do you wish to move over to the healing spirit now, Myth? That's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, plus 5 for getting up and over the bar. I'll allow you to get there with 30 feet of movement if you want to get into the healing spirit, but doing so you will enter and leave the melee range of this guy and this guy. So you can get to here without triggering any opportunity attacks. But if you step an extra further, these two will both potentially get opportunity attacks at you. This one's unarmed, remember? So he'll only get a single punch at you. But this one does have a longsword. So what do you want to do? You can take 2 attacks and then get into the healing and be in the center of the bar, ready for more attacks, more fighting. Nah, the spirit's conjured now. No retconning. think you're doing okay. Look at all these dragons they've killed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6, and then this one's knocked prone. I think I've forgotten one as well, so maybe 7 deaths. I think there were 15 total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, 15. There's another one that's missing somewhere. Yeah, you do have an AC 17, so it's not super likely that they'll hit you. What do you think, Myth? Let's leg it, we can take it. Alright, so you jump up and over the bar. In fact, just for the flavour of it, I'm going to say that you do like a front flip, like a cool ass. You sort of vault up onto the bar, and then you do like a tuck and roll front flip to land down into this space here. So I'm going to say that you can make an acrobatics check, and if it's good enough, these guys will have disadvantage on their attacks of opportunity as you rush past them, but if it's not, then they'll just get attacks of opportunity as normal. Whatever. 18 plus your acrobatics of at least 2, I think it would be. Dirty 20, so they're going to have disadvantage on their attacks against you, because fun and flavour. So, with a 5 and a 9 plus his modifier is not going to hit 17. Oh, actually? No. No, not. And the other guy with his unarmed strike, an 11 and a 14 plus his modifier will hit you. So he's going to hit you for 3 points of unarmed strike. So you take 3 points of unarmed damage from the scared kid who and you, as you land down, avoiding the long swinging blow of the longsword here. This guy just sort of kicks out at you and hits you in the thigh for 3 points of damage. Oh yeah, sorry, I was disadvantaged. I gave him an advantage, didn't I? 11 plus 14. 11 plus his modifier wouldn't hit. Yes, thank you. Too much on my mind. I'm making silly mistakes. Yeah, I give them advantage. You did a cool-ass flip, and I accidentally advantaged them for it. Alright, so you land down here. This guy sweeps out at you with his longsword, and the other one misses you with his little scared child fists. And because you cast it at 3rd level... We've lost a 3rd level spell slot, but when you enter the healing spirit's space, you feel his energy wash over you, and it feels cold. It feels chilly and refreshing in a way. It sort of invigorates the senses, like jumping in a cold pool suddenly gets you like, whoo, whoo. And you recover 5 points of healing. That was your entire turn, Myth, and what a good turn it was. You did lots of. You killed the bartender. You've knocked prone one of the major guys. You injured this guy, took him to wounded, and then you've started healing yourself a little bit as well. Wraith, you're up next. Back to the top of the round. The bartender bleeds out on the floor of the bar. Then it is the main guy's turns. This guy is going to stand up with half his action, and he's going to be completely confused as to where anything is, so he is going to... he hasn't used his command yet. He's going to turn to this guy on the table and say, where is he? Attack him! And this guy will use his command to jump down off the table and attack you. Hey, 17 plus stuff will hit. He was just using... He tried to kick you, didn't he? So he's just unarmed, unfortunately for him. So 3 points of damage, taking you to 46 remaining. So he's used his command, and this guy over in the corner's used his command, but this guy hasn't yet. And they can't do it in more than once per round, unfortunately, between them. This guy used his breath weapon before. He is not happy that you wounded him. He's just gonna run up behind you and take a strike with his sword. Oh, nat 20! There it is. Enough attacks. It's gonna happen, isn't it? All right, so that's gonna hurt with a longsword. 8 plus 3 is 11 plus another 8. Maxed it out as well. So 19 points of damage. 19 off of 46 makes 27. Oh, you can. You can, with your lucky horseshoe, force him to reroll his critical hit if you want. Shall we lucky horseshoe to force him to reroll his crit? Yes. All right. I'm not seeing anyone saying no, so we will. Our lucky horseshoe as he comes in, and he's right behind us, and we're starting to breathe a little heavier. It's starting to get the fight is starting to to get a little more tough for us. The horseshoe, or for us, it's probably a lucky rabbit's foot or something instead. The rabbit's foot on our person just provides us that little moment of distraction to him. 18, so it's still going to hit, but it's not going to be a crit. I'm going to use the damage from before for the sake of being fair. So that's 11 points of damage. 46 down to 35. Alright, and bling goes our lucky horseshoe. So we've used our 2 rerolls, and we have managed to take out a significant chunk of this bar. I imagine bells, the sound distracts him. Yeah, the bells chime somewhere. It's actually probably a cold wind that breezes by, and some sand around this guy flicks up in his face, as the lucky item that you have would have been gifted to you by the cold lady. So this guy just ran forwards and attacked you. That guy that used his command. This guy is going to... Yeah, he's going to use his movement. He's going to... And then if he dashes, he can just about make it. He doesn't want to get close though. What's his thinking? He's going to go over here. Yeah, he's going to go to here, which was 23-ish. He's going to climb up onto the bar as part of his movement, and then he's going to dash. 60, but because he has to climb up onto the bar, I'm going to make that 50-ish. Alright, so he's going to get to there. He's going to run over the bar and run along that way, and this guy is doing a similar thing out here. He's going to run to here, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. With all of the difficult terrain and things, he's getting out the door, and he gets to about there. It seems that they've realised that this fight is not going in their favour, and they're getting the guy out of there. That is those guys. It's now the Mook's turns. The Mooks are all that's left. This guy is unarmed, so he is going to walk around. He's going to dodge around to the side here, pick up a stool, and he's just going to try and smash you with a stool. 19 plus stuff. They're really good with unarmed, improvised attacks, these guys. A lot of their improvised attacks have hit you. 3 plus his modifier. So 5 points of damage to you. You're starting to get close. Then this Mook, he's scared. Because he's missed with a bunch of unarmed strikes, and he's just seen this guy legging it. He's definitely going to leg it. He is going to back out of there. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and then he's going to dodge. He's going to dash rather. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's dashing. He's getting the fuck out of there. He's not been in this clan long enough to deal with this shit. You're starting to look wounded. One of these guys is looking. This guy still has his reach weapon, so he feels confident. 5, 10, 15. He can get to there and hit you from there with his broom handle. 17. 17 on the dice, plus stuff. The number of times they've hit you with improvised weapons, it's crazy. Especially because they don't get to add their proficiency to the attack roll, it's just their modifier. So they've got such a low attack modifier. And he maxed out the damage as well, 6 points of damage. Don't forget that you also have a greater healing in your inventory, a greater healing potion should you wish to take it. And in my games, if you use your entire action to drink a potion, then you get the maximum of it. If you use your bonus action, then you roll for it. So he pokes you in the face, and he hits you pretty hard in the face with the end of his broom, maximizing the damage he could have possibly done with it. These guys, how are they feeling? Who was this guy? This guy was the one with temporary hit points still, so that's why he's still fighting. These guys, maybe I'm going to roll for each of them because I can't fully remember how they... Oh, now that guy's going to leave. He's had enough. He's out. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. And once he gets outside, he's not sure where to go, so he's just going to kind of follow where that guy's running. And then this guy... same roll. I got a 6 for each of these 3 rolls. And I was like basically just 50-50, above or below 10. This guy is also... sorry, yeah, this guy is the one that... thank you, Felagund. So he's not going to leave. He's one of the guys that's still in charge, and he's already taken his turn. He's the leader. All right, that's all the mooks. Who's up next? Have we selected somebody for this round? We start our turn in the healing spirit range, so that'll happen first of all. It will indeed. Is it Wraith? Awesome. Wraith, what do you get to do? Yes, so for people who have come late to the channel, the whole point of why Umar is in this bar is that the Perundrashieth clan of Blue Dragonborns are a criminal organisation that leads with an iron fist. They overtax and they are involved in all kinds of slave trade and sex trafficking and all sorts of nastiness. They're not a nice clan. They're a very dangerous and despicable clan of basically awful people. They are the background of this young lady, who is a Blue Dragonborn in one of my home games. She's a paladin who fights for Bahamut, and she's part of the Knights of Kvosna. And she came from this land. She grew up as a Perundrashieth, but once she turned of age and was let in on the sorts of dealings that her family does, she was like, no, this is not right. And so they tried to kill her and ostracized her, and she ran away to the current day. And so this is a clan that has existed in my world since the beginning. All right, Wraith. Who is still alive and around us? I can barely see us. You are here. The reason you can barely see you is that you're sharing a space currently with your healing spirit. This guy is still alive. He is one of the mooks, as it were, but he does have a couple of temporary hit points from drowning a whiskey earlier. This guy is alive, and he is... he is... Which one is which? He is the mook with the hit points, and this guy is the leader. This guy's a mook with a ranged weapon, a broom handle. This guy's using a stool. And this guy is a leader as well. Aside from that, the rest of the bar is empty, and you can see that one of the other leaders is running for his life. One of the other leaders is running for his life, and everybody else is dead. There's just a huge pile of dead bodies around. So you've got 2 mooks, 4 leaders, 2 of which are running. And you're on fire. So, at the start of your turn, regardless of what you want to do, you are going to heal 7 hit points, and then you are going to take fire damage of 4 hit points, halved because of fire resistance to 2. So you take 2 points of fire damage, heal 7, you heal ultimately a net of 5 hit points at the start of your turn. And the healing spirit has been used twice out of 5 times. He brought a stool to a short sword fight. That's basically it, yes. So what are we doing, Wraith? Right, can we healing spirit ourselves for free? We did. Then we bamf the 2 mooks and 1 leader, getting a safe place nearby, and bonus action the healing spirit to us, I think. Awesome. So we will nice and easy, I think, without even taking our eyes, we sort of turn around and lock eyes with the leader, who is on half health. This guy's the one that we struck before and took to half health in a shot. Without changing eyes with him, we take up both swords and we strike it down as if we're going to strike him, and instead we strike at the guy behind us, spin around on the spot, and strike at this guy. Pow! 11 plus our modifier is going to be plenty enough to hit. Let's see if you can take him out with the dragon slaying sword. Oh, not with that roll, you can't. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 4 is only 13 points of damage. So 13 is not enough to outright kill him, but he definitely fails his ConSave with a 3. And then what happens? What's the extra effect? Ooh, a 5. 5's about middle ground. What's that going to mean for him? 5. He is stunned until the end of their next turn, so he does not get a turn next time. Everybody got to remind me, if I try and attack with this guy, I can't because he's stunned. You strike him for 13 points of damage. He has 3 left. Then you bamf out of the healing spirit. Are you going to do? There we go. Bamf out of the healing spirit through the ethereal plane with your distant strike ability as a Horizon Walker. You land behind the guy with the broomstick and you try and kick his ass with your dragon slaying sword. I thought that was a nat 1 for a second. A 7. 7 plus your ability of Dragon Slayer 9. That's 16. 16 is plenty. Oh, much better. 10 and another 11. 21 plus 4. 25 points of damage to the guy with the broom. Apparently the guy with the broom really pissed you off. Guy with the broom really pissed you off. Oh, I should have said this guy doesn't have 3 left. He's got 6 left because he got the temporary hit points from the whiskey. Smack! You smack that guy. He is absolutely 100% dead, and then some. The guy with the broom punching you in the face with the broomstick really pissed you off. You manage to bamf from there 10 feet forwards, and you attack the guy who is already on half hit points. 5 plus 9 is a 14. Unfortunately, that guy is slightly more heavily armored than the others, and a 14 will not hit. Can you move the healing word towards you as a bonus? Whenever you or a creature you moves into the spirit space for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, you can cause the spirit to do the thing. Can you do it twice on your turn? It's usually not the case that those spells work like that. Yeah, no, you can't heal yourself. If you move this guy with your bonus action to here, you'll start your turn in its space, but you won't heal extra this particular turn, Wraith. So that guy is slaughtered with your dragon slaying sword. You missed this guy who parries it aside with his longsword. He's still wounded, but otherwise fine. You've got a bonus action. You can now bonus action attack him with a fire sword and try and finish him off. Or you can bonus action move this guy, or you can bonus action whatever you want. This is the guy that you've met with the history, yeah, the one with the scar across his eyes. It's a bonus to move the healing spirit. It is, yeah, but I'm saying that you don't need to move the healing spirit unless you really want to, because it won't heal you by doing so. So bonus action offhand strike, yeah. So you struck with your dragon slaying sword, and then your flaming sword comes out with your offhand attack. 6 plus your flame tongue is an 8. 14 again. Unfortunately, 14 is not enough to strike this guy. So this guy parries 1, parries 2, and he's managing to stay alive. He says, even if you do find Krakiki, he will kill you on the street. That is your turn, Wraith, unless you wish to move anywhere. Doing so will invoke an attack of opportunity from this guy. Alright, it is back to the top of the round with the leaders. The bartender's still dying on the floor. This leader is still running. This leader's the only one who hasn't used his command yet, so he just shouts over his shoulder, "Get him!" And he shouts to get him, but unfortunately that only works on mooks, and the only mook that's alive is this stunned guy, and he cannot use his reaction to do it. So he uses his command feature, but no one is there to command. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. He is gone. He is out of there. This guy is also going to run 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. He's going to run and he's getting out of there as well. This guy is a leader that was still in the fight. I think he still thinks he can do this. So he's going to stand up on the table here and he's going to attack you from there. He's almost flanking you with this guy now. He's going to attack at you. Hurrah! Ugh, 5. 5 plus his modifier is not enough to hit 17, so he strikes down at you, and you hear him standing up on the table. So as you've struck across this guy with your flaming sword and he's parried it to the side, you just keep that momentum going round, and without looking, you manage to block the attack from behind. That's all he can do. He's used his lightning breath, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, this guy hasn't used his lightning breath. He should have done that. Oh well. This guy's almost dead. This guy's, yeah. Alright, that's all he can do. Now it's the mook's turn. The only mook that's alive is the one that's stunned. So he's just like, you've done so much damage to him in a single shot that he's kind of like, his body has gone into shock, and he's unable to move or take any attacks or actions or anything on this turn. Just mumbles incoherently. So now it's you. Now it's back to you guys. Who is up? Marie, who you want? What do you want to do? Who do you want to do it with? Once this place is over, we should light the place on fire as we leave with our sword. That would be a pretty epic way of destroying of sending a message to the rest of the clan. Umar is back. Alright, Marie says, what a fight! Am I right in thinking that at this moment Umar's in range of everyone? Yes, Umar is currently in range of maybe this one. I'd give you disadvantage on the attack, but because he's stunned, you'd have advantage as well, so it'd cancel out. So yeah, you'd be able to hit this one, and you'd kind of be lunging a little bit stretched to hit this guy, but he's stunned, so that's fine. And you're not in range of anyone outside, obviously, but they're all running away anyway. I'm thinking start with the stunned guy, dip the numbers, non-lethal if you guys want to interrogate them. Can I start by jumping the 10 feet behind the stunned guy at opportunity attacks? Yep, absolutely. Alright, so he is stunned and a little bit too far to hit, so I'll give you disadvantage as you kind of lunge out. Oh no, actually it doesn't matter because you can bamf behind him. So before or after making any attack with distance strike, you can just jump. You jump behind him using the ethereal plane. You make an attack, and because you're in range, you get advantage, and he's stunned, blah, blah, blah. 8 or 15 plus stuff will definitely hit. Your minimum damage is definitely enough to kill him. But with the Dragon Slayer, you are doing 11, 15, 16, another 4, 20. Dirty 20 points of damage, which would have been enough to kill him outright. Oh, you wanted to... Yes or no? Lethal interrogate? Non-lethal, please. Cool. You bamf behind him and just crack right in the back of the neck. And he just, from being stunned to being unconscious. Easy peasy. Alright, then that was one attack. You want to bamf over to one of these other dudes? If you bamf into the space of your fey creature, you'll also gain 2d6 hit points. Of the other two, how are they looking? This guy's half hit points, looking wounded. This guy's looking fine. This guy has used his lightning breath. This guy has not used his lightning breath yet. Let's go for the bloodied guy. Keep going at him to take him down. All right, so you bamf into this guy's space. As you do so, you heal 11 hit points. That was handy. 11 hit points takes us from 29 to 40. And then you strike out at the guy with your sword. No, I'm rolling advantage. Ooh, a 2. 2 plus your modifier is not going to be enough as he parries it. You have used your attack action for 2 attacks now. You've got a bonus action to attack with your offhand. And because you've attacked 2 different targets, you can attack a third for free. Yeah, unfortunate for us that this guy has blocked relatively well. Offhand and the freebie. Cool. So offhand first before bamfing, we fireblade this guy. 15 plus stuff will definitely hit. And that's going to be 3 lots of this. That's 11 plus 4 is 15 points. 15 is almost dead, but not quite. He is heavily wounded, this guy, and searing in pain. And he shouts something to you in the draconic tongue, which you speak, and you know to be a raging insult, as he's sort of wishing damnation on your soul in draconic. And then you bamf 10 feet over this way. For flavour, I'll just put you up on the table. And then you wham! Last attack, freebie attack on this guy. 4. It's not like it started off really well, but this fight towards the end there, 4 plus your modifier will not hit this guy. That is everything you can do. You've used your bonus action to attack. You've used your attack action to attack 3 times. You've still got movement left if you want to move, but you will get an attack of opportunity now that you're in this guy's space. I think that's it. So back to the top of the round. It is the leaders, this guy and this guy. This guy, he gets struck in the back, or he doesn't, because you managed to not actually get through his armor. You cut through his armor, but not into his person. But you've given away the fact that you're behind him. So he turns to face you, and then big lightning bolt comes out of his face. Dexterity save from you. 14 plus your 6 is a dirty 20. Definitely enough to hit. Definitely enough to miss, rather. To avoid, to dodge. and that's going to be 9, 10, 13 points. 13 you dodged, so 7 points of lightning damage. Are we absorbing another spell slot in order to absorb half of that? 7 points of lightning damage. Yes or no? Are we absorb? 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 A bunch of people saying absorb. The lightning comes towards you. You bring the 2 blades across and it hits that. You dodge most of it. Even the stuff that you don't dodge gets halved. 7 halved, rounded up to 4. Oh, technically, actually, 13 halved and halved again is 13 quartered, so you don't round up until the end of all of the halvings. So it's 3.5 halved, so it's 6.5, sorry. 6.5 halved is 3.25, which rounds down to 3. So 3 points of damage to you, and because I did that already once, I'll take it down to 2 to account for that. And your blade crackles with energy, so the next attack you hit with it deals an extra d6 lightning damage. He says, he fires this at you and you avoid most of it. Then he says, "What do you want with him anyway?" Then finally this leader's turn. He's already used his command ability, he's already used his lightning breath. All he's got left is his sword. He's going to run over here. He does not want to die, he's still very heavily wounded. So he's going to run over here and he's going to attack you. He's going to hope for the best, try and take you down. He attacks you and misses with a 4 plus something. You walk around and you stamp on his longsword, stamping it down, and he looks up at you and snarls, and then and he leaves. He's gonna run away. You're gonna get an attack of opportunity on him as he decides that it's too much for him to handle. 6 plus your modifier of 9 with the Dragon Slayer is a 15. 15 is actually what you need with these guys, wasn't it? Let me check. Yes. And he only had 3 hit points left. So as you stamp on his sword and he's like, and he's about to give up and run for his life, you take a strike at him as he runs, and it's one more dead guy. And as he runs and you cut him down, you turn back to this one who's standing on the table with you, and he sort of snarls and smiles and then lifts his hand up and drops his blade onto the table. Yes, true, it would have used up the extra lightning damage as well. Onto this guy fleeing. And with that, we are out of initiative order, as this guy has given up, and you stand staring at each other on a table in a bar amidst lots of dead friends around, and your healing spirit nearby, which you move over to you, and it's been used twice or 3 times. Oh, we used our reaction to absorb. Thank you, yes, so he does not die. Alright, so this guy ran. So he ran over to you with like 10 feet, and then 15, 20, 25, 30. With the rest of his movement, he is running out of the door. And because he's running out of the door, it doesn't change anything. The guy drops his blade and says, "It seems you win this round, Umar." And then you can shift your fey creature up onto your space with you. How many had we used? 3 of them? I think we'd used 3 of them, right? So we've got 2 more left. So in the next 2 rounds, while you're staring this guy down, you heal a further 10 and 4, 14 points of healing. 14 takes us to 52. And we're still technically wounded from that, but not too far off. Not too far off of being above half. And with the final one, the fey creature whispers in a language that only you will hear, in words that only you will hear. "Winter's blessing," and then disappears into a wisp of cloud, a wisp of cold swirling air, which seems to be sucked outside and disappears And with that, we are out of initiative order. Congratulations, everybody. You survived a bar fight with 15 villains versus 1. 15 on 1. Not something to be sniffed at. Impressive. So you step down, you point your swords at this guy until he sits back down in the chair. And he just looks at you with a sort of a snarl on his scaly lips. And he says, "What do you want, you Ichtach?" And he calls you that word again in Draconic, the offensive term that sort of it basically translates to like son of a dog, and he is essentially insulting you and your family, saying that you're all dogs, which is a high insult in this part of the world. What would you say to it? What do you want to do now? Slap him. You put your swords away as you grab the flamed sword. Oh, you put yourself out, presumably. You would have taken a few more hit points damage from being on fire until eventually you get the opportunity to actually put yourself out with it. This guy is the one who recognised you when you came in. Yes, he's the one in the far corner who said, "Oh, Umar, long time since we've seen you, friend." And he jumped up onto the bar, ran across, took a strike at you. You pulled him off the table. He got up, jumped back up onto the table, and that's where he ended up. So he's now sitting in this bar, in this dead, empty bar, with lots of sort of ozone smell in the air from all of the lightning crackling, and lots of bodies around. You know that anything that passes as law enforcement in this town will not be coming to investigate. These guys, this is one of the headquarters, one of the bars of the Perundrashieth clan, deep in the Dragon district of this particular city. Are we looking for fair taxes or none? We are looking for a particular man. We're looking for, I don't know if I pull up my notes to remind myself, Krikaki, I think his name was. Krakaki. We are looking for Krakaki, who is kind of the leader of the Perundrashieth clan and has instigated taxes on this town. In particular, we are looking for a farmer's wife's wedding ring that he was forced to give up at knife point earlier today as a tax for entering the town. So we say the word, and then the internal fire of hellfire bleeds back into the infernal sword, and we sheathe it, and then sheathe the dragon slayer. Well, wipe off the much blood that's on the dragon slaying sword, and then back into the sheath, and we sit down opposite this guy. How do we write the name? The name of the guy that we're looking for is Krakaki. So we say, unless you want to end up like the rest of your kin, tell me what I need to know. And he reaches over for a drink and says, "What do you want to know?" And starts to drink. What do you want to ask this guy? You've got one of the higher ups in the Perundrashieth clan, probably a mine owner, probably slave owners. "I want to know where he is." He says, "He should be on Vashani Street. He is investigating the crude drawing." Now, the crude drawing to which he refers is one that you have seen plastered over town the last few days. It is sort of a caricature, a cartoonish caricature made by unknown individuals, almost Banksy style, and it has been spray painted onto various places, but more often, there's one particular place that it's been spray painted onto, like a silo right as you're entering town. But around the actual streets of the town, it's just been drawn on parchment and then nailed or stuck to places. And nobody has yet, well, as far as you know, nobody has yet come forward as like claiming responsibility for it. It is a drawing of a dragonborn, a blue dragonborn on all fours, like a dog. And their mouth is full of some pile of something that is in front of them. And in front of that pile stands the back end of a camel. And this drawing has the name Krakaki above it, and then in the regional dialect of Common, it says "eats camel shit." Krakaki eats camel shit over the drawing, and the drawing itself without the writing was spray painted onto a silo outside of town. And so Krakaki is out investigating that drawing apparently, and he and your new friend in front of you says he should be on Vashani Street. You know Vashani Street to be one of the main streets of town where it's sort of on the crossroads of where it's like a T-junction. It's where the marketplaces are, and it's where a lot of humans live. You would also know as well that the town essentially is split into a very wealthy part of town where the Blue Dragonborns live and work and do their things. A sort of medium kind of town, like a middle class kind of town, which is made up of only like 10% tieflings, 5% thrikreen, which is a type of sort of insectoid race that lives in the desert, a few dragonborns of lower class dragonborns, and a couple of the upper class humans. And then the majority of the outskirts of town, the lower parts of town, are predominantly human, and they are kept as such with their class differences. It's kept because in the centre of town, in the upper class centre of town, there is Krakaki's Manor. And in Krakaki's Manor, there is a large fountain that has some sort of spring, either from deep beneath or maybe magically based. And the spring water is funneled from the fountain into various aqueducts that run around the city. And it's literally the city's only source of water, except for traded and incoming exports and imports. That's the only other way of getting water. And so the people in the wealthy district get first access to the aqueducts, and eventually anything that they leave behind or don't, wash their faces in and crap in and stuff, ends up in sort of the middle district of town with the tieflings and the thrikreen. And then anything that they don't drink or cook with or crap in ends up finally in the lowest parts of the aqueduct in the human parts of the city. So yes, if he wanted to, he could cause a drought. He could basically just block off the fountain. He could block off, and so that's one of the reasons that he holds so much power here. And Vashani Street is not. It's kind of where the Thrikreen district meets the human district, and it's where the marketplaces of the humans go. And so Kurakaki has gone there to investigate it and ask around. I say cut this guy's head off, take it to Vashani Street, and tell Taxman to get out of town, or this will happen to him too, and toss the severed head. That could definitely work. That could be a way of doing it. What do you guys think? That's Kelso's idea. Kelso is one synapse of Umar's brain right now. What do the rest of you guys want to do? The Taxman's the Sultana. No, absolutely not, Wraith. The Sultan and Sultana are humans, and they live in a completely different part of the country. And they are very pleasant people. They are, on the whole, beloved by the humans of Al Yamo. Can we kill the guy that we non-lethaled? We can if that's the majority of people's decision about Merp. We have a lot of corpses to provide a head with. That's definitely true. Insight on the guy. All right. We insight the guy to see if he's telling us the truth. That's a nat 1. We do have proficiency in insight, so that is total of 9 still. Nat 1, total of 9. That's actually a pretty good insight, but it is below average. We don't read anything on his face other than a smug sort of acceptance of his fate as he drinks the rest of his drink. What was Marier's idea? In which case, I'm thinking that Kelso has a decent idea, but I think our friend here should deliver the heads. All of them. Ooh, that's cool. So we chop off all of the heads. We tell this guy, you're coming with me, and we get this guy at knife point to drop off the heads of all of the... That will certainly get it. All right, who's in? So it was very fitting that he was on fire for most of the night because he's reckless with his personal safety. Yeah, it makes sense. Umar's a murder hobo. He's not exactly a murder hobo. He kills for reason. He kills for people who have personally slighted him. He doesn't just kill shopkeepers because they won't give him a discount. He's not that kind of person. All right. Who is in charge? Put a yes thumbs up in the chat or something equivalent if you are in agreement that that what we do is we take this one living leader and we force him to take all of the decapitated heads of all of his clan's men. And we take them to Vashani Street and drop them and say, your move. Do you drink one of the healing potions? Drink one of the healing potions, that's probably a smart idea. We're out of a battle now, so we can drink it as an action without an issue. So we drink Greater Healing Potion, which is 44 plus 4. 44 plus 4, which is a total of 20. So we recover 20 hit points. 20 hit points takes us back up to 72 health. 72 health is above our half hit point maximum, so we are no longer looking wounded. We're still kind of a little bit, you know, we've got some muscle ache, but we're no longer looking wounded. The potion has healed up any damage that the burns did to us and things. Look behind the bar for some healing potions. Yeah, absolutely. So I will roll you an investigation check. Investigation. You are not proficient in investigation. So that's just a 13 plus your wisdom of 4, so that is 17. 17's pretty good. You find significant amount of gold on the various different people's bodies. As you are forcing this guy, you ask him his name and he says Frakanish. And you force Frakanish to be decapitating the bodies of his own people as you are searching them for gold and such. And you discover a significant amount of gold on their persons. You also discover there are a couple of potions behind the bar. He was throwing various different bottles of things at you during the fight. He threw a bottle of acid. He threw a bottle of tar to slow you down. He threw a bottle that ended up putting you on fire. You find a bottle of poison, which is pretty decent poison that comes from a purple worm. And you find a bottle of potion, which has 3 servings of light healing potion in it. After you've done so, you have a collection of dragonborn heads. Not to be rules low, but isn't investigation intelligent, not wisdom? Yeah, it is actually. Yes, sorry, my mistake. Intelligence, so it would have been a +1 to your 13, 14. That's still fine. It wasn't a high DC because there's no time pressures, so you could have just taken your time to actually get 20 if you needed to. Frakanish, yes. So you head with Frakanish towards the. You can't carry all of the heads between you, but you manage to belt a few of them together, and he manages to do so as well. And you keep him at knife point with your dragon blade drawn, staying within range of him until you get to the town of the street of Vashani Street. And as you're approaching the Vashani Street intersection, you can hear angry yelling in Draconic, shouting about how if and because you speak Draconic, you hear people yelling about how if one of you does not own up, we will punish the lot. And then you see, ooh, a new map on Tailspire! Woohoo! Rob is getting super excited about his new map making ability with Tailspire. I'm super into it, guys. Have you noticed? You see that there's these guys. These 4 guys have rounded up a small crowd of human farmers and humanoids. It looks so good, doesn't it? It looks so good. Look how all the cool things you can do. And as we arrive over there with the Frakanish, we call out Krakani. And this one over here looks over and says, Frakanish, what are you doing? Who is... And then sees what you're holding. And then, I see. So this is the Frakuta. And he again insults you in Draconic. This is the Frakuta that you were telling me about. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Umar. If I remember rightly, it was your mother who squealed like a pig. Yes, Fala Brahim, is that right? And that is the name of your mother. Fala Brahim. She was so insistent on your father leaving the land, but he was stubborn and refused. You throw down the heads. What is it you would like to do? Nothing yet has happened hostile towards you. These guys, the humans have all started to like use the opportunity that he's not actually watching to sort of back away. Misty step to him and then banish. So as you Misty Step, you begin to cast a spell with Misty Step, and so that is going to be a hostile action. And because he is already amped up in this situation that could turn hostile with these guys, he was ready for something to happen. And so we're going to go into an initiative to see who gets there first. So you start to cast a spell of some kind. That casts us into a hostile action, and so we're going to have a roll off of who gets their prepared action out first. Apis rolled a. I'll roll it. I'll tell you what. I'll be kind and actually roll them in the tray as I should. It is an Apis roll, so it should be written in Apis. Damn it! I've been doing so well at not saying Apis. I think. Umar. How old would Apis be if they were here? Negative 240 or so. No, negative 200-ish. This is about 245-ish years before the current day of Apis's world. Anyway, initiative. Umar gets a 14 plus 2 from... and you have a weapon of warning on your hip, which as this guy is shouting things out at you, the warning starts to vibrate a little. So, still 14. 14, what did I say? 14 plus your modifier, was it 16? I don't remember. Let's see what this other guy gets. The bad guy gets less than that. So, Umar will go first in the initiative order, followed by the primary enemy, and then the secondary enemy. Umar, what is it you wish to do on your first round of combat? You have no inspiration or no lucky horseshoe, so you don't get any rerolls. You've got 1 level 1 spell slot, 3 level 2, 2 level 3, and 1 level 4. You have all of these swords. You are a dual wielder, so you can use 2 of your short swords, and you can choose any 2 of them. Previously, we were using the Dragon Slayer and the Flame Tongue, but if you wanted to switch to a +3 short sword instead, you could do that. You could banish with a 60-foot range on it, I believe. That guy's definitely within 60 feet. Even these guys over here are just within 60 feet, look. So any of the bad guys that you've seen are within 60 feet of you. You could banish any of them. Lucifrique is probably not born yet either. Yeah, that's a good point. Lucifrique would even be not born yet. Ungerhef certainly would be, though. So how it works for anybody joining us is we're going into an initiative order. In anything outside of combat, for just general decisions and things, I will generally just poll the chat to see what we want to do and which direction to go. When we get into a combat situation where there's just too many options, too much choice to poll every single one, I instead take a single winner from the chat. So if you want to be in with a chance to run Umar's round of combat, you can type !round 1. And anyone who does so is entered into the pool from which we draw, and then that person gets the chance to decide what Umar's going to do on that round of combat. Kelso, awesome. Kelso, you have round 1. What are you going to do? Banish the leader. Awesome. So as he turns and starts bad-mouthing your mother and saying that he was there when your father was stubbornly not leaving the land, and so he killed your mother, he's implying that he killed your mother, you are going to use your 4th level spell slot to start casting the banishment spell. Banishment is... Let me pull it up. Banishment is I think, charisma check from memory. A charisma save, sorry. It's a concentration spell up to a minute, so you are concentrating. If you do anything else that requires concentration or get hit, there's a chance that it'll fail. Range of 60 feet, so he's definitely within range. Technically, as I said, you don't have your weapons drawn yet, so that's fine. And you say the magic words, and you wave your hands around in the right ways, and you attempt to send one creature you can see within range to another plane of existence. charisma saving throw. 6 plus his modifier will not be enough. If the target is native to the plane of existence you're on, you banish them to a harmless demi-plane. And while they're there, the target is incapacitated. The target remains there until your spell ends, at which point the target reappears in the space it left, or in a nearest unoccupied space. So, this guy is native to this plane of existence. So he is hidden. He is banished away to another plane of existence, just in the middle of his... Your mother squealed like a pig. Your father was so stubborn that he didn't even... And then it just seems to... He gets enveloped in like this tearing of... let me see, how would it work? You'd get your planar warrior abilities from... Yeah, you're able to manipulate portals in space temporarily. So as he's speaking, and then this sort of almost like it's being torn, like a knife has been stuck through space and torn open. Right behind him opens this huge portal, which like a hole in the side of a spaceship, just sucks him backwards into this portal, and then immediately stitches itself back up again. Shut up, you brakat! As you shout this out to him, the others go into all hands on deck kind of fight back mode. And technically speaking, although they may not be doing anything to help in the fight, I'll add them to the initiative anyway, just to see what the humans do when it comes around to their turn. The character sheet has Etherealness lifted as a 7th level spell. Yes, it is a 7th level spell, but you can cast it. It's just like it's a ranger feature. You can cast Etherealness without using a 7th level spell slot, but it only lasts for 1 round. Alright, so awesome work there. You've done your action to banish the guy. You've now got a bonus action and your movement. Where do you want to move or bonus action? Kelso, what are we doing with our intimidate the rest to bail or die? Cool. So I'll allow that as a bonus action, because you've got the heads of a bunch of dragons that you've just decapitated, dragonborn, and you say this out loud, and then shut up, you budok. And then turning to these other guys, I will allow as a bonus action an intimidation roll, and because of the dragon heads, I'll allow it with advantage. Natural 1 or a 5. Apparently these guys are not easily intimidated, even with the loss of their leader and the decapitated heads of their friends. What was your intimidation? You have a +1 intimidation. So that was a 6 intimidation. The DC was relatively low because of all of the circumstances, but it still wasn't a 6. So you try and intimidate them, but your words kind of get caught up in your face, in your mouth, and you trip over your words, and you've not spoken Draconic in a little while, so it comes out like you're not quite as intimidating as you would like to have been. Would you like to move anywhere, Kelso? That's the only thing that was left to do. Kicking the heads around. Don't we get 2 attacks at this level? We didn't attack. We just did a spell though. Alright, so I will take it from your lack of response. Yeah, stay here, I think. There we go. So you wait for them to act. Enemy 1 is currently not on the battlefield. Enemy 2 is going to... these are the mooks and things. He knows better. He's just seen you fighting in person and knows better than to act. Yeah, this guy's going to sort of run over to where his boss was. And then seeing that he's gone... He's going to turn around with his crossbow and fire it towards you. He's going to fire at you. Nat 1. So, you know what that means in my games. If you get a Nat 1, there's a chance of friendly fire. If it happens to be that someone you can friendly fire is on the same path. And so, this guy gets to make a dexterity saving throw, which he makes, thankfully for him. So the crossbow bolt whizzes past... whatever the hell his name was called, Frakashish or something, whizzes past his head, and off to the hits against a sandstone building behind you. These guys are going to run forwards and pushing their way through the crowd. They're going to get to here and here respectively, and they're going to take attacks with crossbows at you as well. Oh, not good, and even worse. So all 3 of them missing you. You're just dodging out of the way of crossbow bolts left, right, and centre. Then it's your allies' turns. The humans that are being interrogated, they are going to set off running. And with this guy runs and gets an attack of opportunity from this guy, but he's got a crossbow out, so it's going to be with his crossbow as an unarmed strike, as a improvised weapon. That is going to hit him, and it's going to knock him down because of his damage. He's going to run. She's going to run. He's going to run and then turn and help this guy, and like sort of drag him away a little bit. All right, everything's done now. It's back to Umar's turn. Who gets to control Umar? DM Shanks. Are you still in the chat, DM Shanks? What do you want to do on your turn? I think the short sword to the enemy closest to Umar. All right, so you draw out 2 short swords. You can choose which 2 you're drawing out. Your +3 short sword, your Dragon Slayer, your Flame Tongue, or your Warning Sword. +3 and Flame Tongue. You bring out your +3 short sword and you attack with this, with both of them, with your offhand attack as well. You can attack with both. Oops, wrong dice, wrong tray. Nat 1 and a 14. So the +3. Oh, +3 with a nat 1. Oh, nat 1's an automatic miss. So you miss with one of them, but with the 14, your flaming sword will probably hit. And that's going to be 9 plus your 4 +3, 12 points of damage. This guy is flaming and not enjoying that, but he's wounded and staying up. You strike across at this guy, burn up his back, and as you do so, you say, "Tell him what you just witnessed." And he sort of shouts out, "You do not want to take this fight to Umar." And then he says in Draconic, "Not without Krakaki here." Then you have attacked. You've bonus action attacked. Because you've attacked, you can jump 10 feet forward with the ethereal step. You can then move your movement towards this guy and attack again, and then attack again with your +3 short sword. So let's see what you do. Oops, sorry, I'm rolling in the wrong place. 7 plus 11 for your short sword. Definitely is going to pretty much anything but a nat 1 on both of these guys with the +3 short sword. Yep, that's going to hit. So you manage to strike down 3, 6. Probably would have been better to use the Flame Tongue. Yeah, you would have probably used the Flame Tongue, right? DM Shanks. Oh shit! Can't use that. Oh wow, that was some acrobatics dice. That's 9, 11 plus 3 is 14. I'm going to say that this guy is out for that. And then you bam through the ethereal space with your distance strike. And you hit him as well. I already rolled for it. That's 11 plus another 3. I'm going to say this guy's out as well. As he's out and gone, to cut a long story short, because we're running out of time and I want to wrap up, you're going to definitely not have any issues over these two. And as you sort of help this guy to his feet, you do a medicine check on him maybe and help him conscious again, and you explain to these guys who you are and what you've been doing, and they're very thankful to you. This guy walks over as these ones are leaving, and he says, "I was not the one responsible for the drawings, but I know who was. His name is Abraham. If you wish to meet with him, he is leading a resistance against the Parandrashieth." And then he hands you a slip of paper with a coded address on it that you're going to have to decode in your downtime. And then he quickly leaves just as this space behind you opens up and lets back through at the end of your dimension door. By this point, I'm going to say that this guy's definitely dead. And the other guy has run away to live to fight another day, because he knew what you could do and definitely didn't want to stand and stick around. At this point, your friend from before pops back through the portal and his readied action that he was about to take before he was about to lose his readied action, and you happened to beat him on initiative order. But what he was about to do was consume something from his something from a pouch that's on a sort of a bandolier on his chest, and he tears into it and says, "The blood of my ancestors fuel my strength." And as he does so, he transforms. He transforms into what you are about to fight, which is a blue dragonborn hybrid wyvern. And as the wyvern spreads its wings and he roars and crackles with energy, that is where I'm going to leave today's Twitch Tales. Thank you very much for joining me for the story for one particular story of Umar Rashid Habrim. Brahim is his name. You guys rock. This has been a lot of fun. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Wait. Before you go. Stop what you're doing. Don't forget that you haven't hit the like button yet. Do it now. Thank you.